Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to start by saying that I spoke to the Government Affairs Director at the Missoula Organization of Realtors, and it was stated to us that the MOR did support this. They were very excited about it, and just want to make it clear that MOR has not yet made a decision on this. They have not discussed it, so the body that is MOR has not endorsed anything, so just wanted to make that clear. In addition, I want to respectfully disagree with President von Lossberg about the issue of affordable housing. We get up here and we say on a daily basis that we really care about it, that it is our top priority, but this bond contradicts that goal, and I'm not saying that the intentions aren't right, but what I'm saying is that if we care about affordable housing, we take a second look at this, because we just have to discuss the whole picture, all the tiny little bits and pieces. And we have to realize first the supply and demand issue, and I've discussed this with a lot of folks. So, I mean, if we take $15 million worth of real estate off the market of developable land, regardless of the fact if it would be deemed for affordable housing or just a standard subdivision, I mean, the more product you have on the market, then the less housing is going to cost as a whole. So the more land we take off the market, it's going to drive up the cost of land. I've heard you say yourself, Mr. Mayor, that one of the problems with affordable housing is the land cost, and it continues to rise and rise and rise. And I think that some of the issue is because it's becoming scarcer and scarcer and scarcer. And we have to realize that in addition to this, we are taking $15 million worth of real estate off of the tax roll. So that $15 million is not going to be paying property tax anymore. So the general fund and other taxpayers are going to have to make up for that. In addition to that, this isn't really a $15 million bond. You have to factor in interest. When you look at interest, let's just assume 4%, like Mr. Bickle did, over 20 years. We're actually looking at about a $22 million cost to the taxpayer. So I don't understand why we're framing this as a crisis either. So I brought this little map, and if you see here, all this green is owned by the feds. This is Forest Service land. All this red right here is city land. And then we take a look, light blue is state land and dark blue is county land. So we have a ton of open space already. I don't see a crisis right now. And again, this doesn't seem like a crisis to me. I like open space as much as the next person. But if we look at this more, I mean, I think a lot of us up here can afford that. I could afford this, but there's a lot of people in this city that can't afford that. There's people that, I know we talk about Section 8 and we talk about the discounts, but you have to be impoverished to take advantage of those. There's a lot of people that are living on a fixed income, making $30,000 or $40,000 a year, that don't qualify for any of those benefits, and they've lived here for 40, 50 years, and they're getting taxed out of their homes. They can't afford it. The middle class is disappearing. And I just think it's important that we talk about this stuff. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but we're turning Missoula into a country club. And country clubs are nice, but they're very, very expensive. And every time we raise taxes, we're raising the membership of the cost of living in Missoula. Do we really want to be that exclusive? I mean, we talk about equality all the time. I know it seems like I'm being dramatic, but I'm really trying to respectfully voice my concerns with this. I think that the voters deserve to make an educated guess or an educated decision on this. And then we also talk about the mill levy, which is $500,000. Again, I go back to the Parks Special District, which started in 2010. It was $200,000. It's grown to $1.5 million today. So that is 3 times what we are asking for maintenance and upkeep on this affordable housing. So I ask, is this $500,000 going to knock down how much we're going to be paying in the park special assessment, or is that going to stay the same, or is that going to go up? Because the way I see it, that'd be about $2 million towards park maintenance, and I think that's a fair question, and I think that these points, not trying to be disrespectful, need to be raised by us so that voters can see the entire picture, not just the good of it. They trust us as stewards of the taxpayer dollars. That's why we have this obligation to be a gatekeeper of what can go on the ballot, and people don't have to collect signatures if we put it on there. That's because people trust that we will raise all sides of the issue. And for that reason, I'd like us to send this back to committee and discuss these specific points a little bit more in depth. Thank you.